Let's consider connecting Zello walkie-talkies to regular radio stations without using a radio gateway. We use any radio station that has VOX, in this case quenching. We install an old version of the Zello program for Windows on a laptop. This format. Temporarily turn on the travel route channel so that no one interfered during tests. Turn on the button with the red lock so that there is a constant transmission. Set up VOX. Go to Actions, Settings, VOX. We have these parameters. Yours may differ, depending on the equipment. Select parameters need to be experimented. And the VOX radio station set to value 1. Wires are connected to the microphone and speaker. Be sure to install ferrite rings. They do not allow the radio station to switch to constant radio transmission. And the separating capacitors are 10 mkF, 16 to 20 volts. In this way, to make it clearer. And there are also ferrite rings at the input. Microphone and speaker. The circuit is very simple. Let's come back here and try. Bauphone radio station. Stepping up the transmission.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3.
It works. Here we look.
1, 2, 3. Есть.
Now in reverse order.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Well, the echo is clear. I'm close. I'll move further away.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's it. There are settings and they work. The only point is that you need to do everything with the wires beautifully and conveniently. We took new wires and other things. We'll hide everything in heat shrink to make it more convenient and beautiful. And also, as an option, you can make replaceable plugs by cutting the wires and installing the necessary adapters. Then different plugs will allow you to connect different equipment, but the main wire will remain the same.
Проводки и сделать, допустим, такие же колокольчики, то есть для соединения, чтобы можно было менять различные штекера под различные радиостанции. То есть сделать вот этот проводок, эти провода как бы, основными, а штекера, допустим, менять. Где-то под Bauphone, где-то там
Bauphone,
этот
Ratil, it won't matter.
Не знаю, более другие радиостанции, например, стационарные. То есть самое главное сделать вот это вот красиво, а штекера можно было бы, допустим, поменять под разное назначение.
Magic happened and we moved into the future. Now we have everything done as it should, beautiful and reliable, almost like at the factory. The capacitors were hidden in heat shrink, and now it looks more or less solid. Plugged it into the computer, it works. The Zello program on the computer. Bauphone works here. 5 watt. The antenna is placed on the roof for better reception. Well, let's test it now. At the same time we watch the work in Zello on the phone, and the work in the radio station. Well, as you can see, everything is fine. Some may have questions. What is all this for? I'll tell you using the example of a diagram. For example, we take two settlements, the city of Blagoveshchensk and the village of Talakin. The distance between them is 196 kilometers. Do you agree that there may be no communication even between base stations? Not to mention good reception.
Могут быть, конечно, какие-то случайные прохождения, и то как бы сомневаюсь.
But if we add a laptop or computer with the Zello program installed to the base stations, we make the same settings as we showed in this video. Then look what happens. Using the internet, basic the Blagoveshchensk station communicates via Zello with the Talakin base station. Near Talakin in the remote taiga, where there is no cellular communication, two groups of rescuers are working with ordinary radio stations. They hear not only the Talakin base station, but also the station of the city of Blagoveshchensk. Just like the Talakana station will still work as a repeater. The first group of rescuers will be able to talk to the second group of rescuers. Previously, they would not have been able to do this. Due to the large distance between the groups, the repeater makes this possible. But that's not all. Any rescuer from the group can contact directly Blagoveshchensk or any network subscriber. Who has a smartphone with the Zello program or a radio station. Even if the subscriber is located, let's say, in Alaska, a hybrid of the internet and radio waves gives an unlimited communication range, having any device from a smartphone to the cheapest radio station. In addition, you can set up emergency information channels for the population or enterprises. For example, in large enterprises, employees connect to such a channel through their smartphones. On such a channel, you can only set the operation to receive messages, prohibit users from transmitting. In the event of an emergency, connected subscribers will receive operational information or instructions on behavior. Tell me, what other equipment or resource can provide such functionality? I do not know either. Now for the cost of equipment. You need to choose smartphones and radio stations according to your pocket. For Zello, there is absolutely no difference. You will have an iPhone 54 or Android for 2,000 rubles, Motorola or Baofeng radio station. For Zello there is absolutely no difference, but there are two options for connecting all devices to the network. The first is through VOX, as we showed in this video. The benefit of such a connection is that it is cheap, less than 1,000 rubles. The disadvantage is that you need to tinker with the settings. They greatly depend on specific equipment. Another option, a special radio gateway from Zello or its analogs. The advantage is easy setup and guaranteed stable operation.
Hello, 1, 2, 3. Hello, 1, 2, 3. Hello, 1, 2, 3.
To connect the radio station, we use a radio gateway. On the screen is a radio gateway, which we called Zello Gateway, or any other manufacturer. We connect one of the radio stations to the network through a radio gateway, and all messages are broadcast from the radio station network to the Zello network and back. The radio gateway, like a regular user, can be connected to one or more channels. And thus, employees or rescuers on any devices can communicate on a single network. From the walkie-talkie, you can transmit a message to the iPhone. But there is a drawback to the cost of the radio gateway. It's about 20,000 rubles. The choice is yours.